Right, welcome back to episode God knows what of putting a Vario together in the form of a camper or motorhome instead of said bus that it was. So first things first, I promised in the last episode we're going to put some floor down, so I'm going to actually put this front piece of floor down here. So I'm just going through some little jobs because there's like loads and loads of little jobs that sort of accrued and I just sort of ticked them off. I put them in my notepad, fortunately, because I was like, I'd forgotten. So one of them is just to add in just essentially like a pickup pipe. We're going to have a diesel heater in the back, and I didn't want to, you know, put the floor down and then decide, oh God, I need to put a standpipe into the fuel tank now. So all I've done is just I bought that standoff, put the stand down pipe, pickup pipe, whatever you want to call it a suction pipe. I've just sort of carefully drilled the tank, tapped it out with a vacuum in the top, and then I've just sort of screwed in the pickup pipe, and I've used some epoxy on the top just in case. So then I can put the pipe in, and then just sort of the kit's just come with a piece of plastic pipe. So we're going to run that down to the back, which is where the diesel heater will be. I haven't got the diesel heater yet. I'm still deciding which one to get. In the Iveco we had like a Chinese one, and it was all right. But I just wonder, you know, it was all right. That was it. It was just all right. It had some quibbles. I had to sort of clean the thing out every now and again, and it makes me wonder if I don't just buy like something half sensible to start with. Those Respray ones, whatever they're called. So we may do that, but regardless, it's going to be unusual if we're out in this, being brutally honest, and we need the heater because I'm not a winter camper man. I can tell you that right now. So we will put one in, whether that's this year, I don't know, but we'll leave a space for it and we'll plumb everything in so that it's ready to go. So, but yeah, I just don't want to take the floor out. You could get to this to service it if you needed to get to it, I guess, or if it bloody leaks, which would be frustrating, by unbolting the tank and dropping it down. But like I say, I really don't want to do that if I can possibly help it, so now's the time. The other thing I've got to do is just go through and zip tie a load of stuff, because I've cut a lot of zip ties off of this as I've been sort of moving around it, and now I've got lots of stuff removed, which we're not putting back in, which was, you know, integral to the bus systems. So I can tie all of that back up, like all of my air conditioning pipes here. They're not actually tied up to anything currently, so just got to do that, and then we can put the first piece of floor in. Whether I'm jumping the gun a bit, I don't know really, but it just feels good to have a piece of floor in. And sometimes you've got to do one nice little exciting job, haven't you, and then gives you a bit of a kick up the arse to do the 5 shit ones. So yeah, let's cut some wood. Middle row of seats, 3 children, as you may have gathered. So I want to seat 3 comfortably and safely. Seats that came out, minibus seats, were just sort of in aluminium rail. Now we have 3, well, we've got 4 actually, but we're going to pick the 3 best ones. These are Jaguar F-Type, no, they're not F-Type, they're XF seats, like the posh ones, the sporty ones. I don't think they're R seats, I don't think they're the V8 seats, but I think they're probably the next best step. Maybe they fit them, I don't know. Either way, Andrew and Mark from Auto Reserve, they are the purveyor of fine Jaguar parts, and they have supplied me all sorts of bits for my horrible old racing car, and now they find themselves supplying me bits for my horrible old Mercedes bus. So bless your hearts, what good boys you are. They even managed to get these delivered to me for not a massive amount of money. So if you need any Jaguar bits, don't dick about, just go straight to Auto Reserve, because yeah, frankly, there is nobody better. So you boys owe me a drink. So we're going to use 3 XF seats essentially, and I am going to build a frame to mount these along with the original 3-point harnesses that would come with these seats, because they've been good enough to send me the seat belts as well. So I'm going to make a frame which will mount all 3 seats on. We're hopefully going to keep all the electrics working, so they'll be heated and movable and all of that sort of nonsense, because some of them are taller than the others. The children, that is, not the seats. And then behind this, we're going to have like an L-shaped kitchen. So as part of the frame, which we're going to build out of mostly box section, It's going to go back further and have a bit of a worktop, which will be just behind here. And then hopefully up above, we're going to have like, you know, roof mounted cabinets, where I'll probably put like a small microwave and some other bits and pieces. And the steel work will go all the way up through to the roof. So all of that will be, you know, substantially mounted to the chassis and the roof. So, but I don't know how big really this needs to be. So, you know, I don't really know, you know, where the table is going to be. I think we're going to have two different tables that are swappable, one for sort of travelling so they can put tablets, drinks, cups and all that on, and one like a full table where we can spin our seats around, because our seats will be just here. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is just put some tape on the floor and mark up roughly where I think this is going to be, and fudge up some sort of framework. Right, so I'm going to rock with this. 600 there, which essentially is going to leave enough room for 3 drawers at the front at 600 deep by 400. So, and it'll also leave space in between each of the drawers to add some decent quality triangulation up, because obviously the seat's going to be mounted. So, in the event of an accident, I want that to be solid. And then this extra bit about, we've got 100mm for the seats will lean back slightly, and I want to have a little bit of room to be able to move forwards and backwards. So I've got 100mm for that, and then we've got 350mm, which we're going to have as like countertop. We've gone with 350mm because it's big enough for a plate, and as I say, I want to put like a microwave up in the upper cabinet. So I'm basically now just going to make this frame and then just take it into the bus and just make sure it all fits in there as I'm expecting it to. Nothing better than just actually popping something in there, I think, and just having a look, making sure that I can get it down to the main chassis lots, you know, because obviously it's, again, got a bolt right down through the lot. So yeah, gonna make this now, see what happens. My word, it's hot. Quite obviously, you know, the seat's going to go on there, going to triangulate this, and there's going to be beams across there to bolt through. I'll probably sheet this in aluminium. We're going to put some drawers, as I say, along the front, so there's going to be some uprights in it. I'm just sort of going to get the seat spacing correct, probably bolt one in and then sort of mess around with this back end. But yeah, it's a load of box section. Funny in it, you think it's going to take you like half hour in your mind, and here you are, whole morning gone, and all you've done is welded 8-9 bits of box together. But it's all square, it's all true. So the main basis of what I've ended up with is this, essentially. I've still got a bit of triangulation to do. Being brutally honest, I've run out of steel. Seat belts go to here. I've ordered some 7/16 UNF inserts to go in through here, and then we'll round those off nicely, make them look a bit prettier. The seat belt mounting points are essentially, because we run an XF as a family wagon, so I've just basically measured off the seat belt points on that car and just matched them here. So 3 seats just go along there again, just sort of got some captive nuts in under there, and I've got some drawers which I'm going to try and fit under here. But long story short, we're going to get it into the van now, into the bus, and sort out the actual mounting points in through the floor, get all those drilled. We're going to weld again some captive nuts on the inside of that. So, you know, it's been a minute since I've done any welding proper, but this thing's making me wake up and, you know, remember how it all works, like riding a bike, so I'm told. Right, it's all back to front. So I'm facing backwards, which feels very odd. And I've test fitted my frame. It's, you know, the outside of it is basically finished. All of the main pickup points are there, because what I want to do is just make all the mounts. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just drawing some holes through, so we've got to drill down into the main chassis, and then we're going to put some captive nuts in the bottom. We're going to use big M12 bolts all the way through, and I think there's going to be 16 places we're going to drill through into the chassis. So what I want to do is get all of that drilled, so that all of it bolts straight down without having to dick about too much, to be fair. And then we've got, because like we've just put it in and test fitted all the seats. Oh, there's just a spin round, and I'll oh yeah, now I'm facing the right way. It's very odd. So yeah, I'm going to attach this now so that I can remove the frame, finish off doing all the metalwork to the frame, then Libby can paint it, bless her, and then we can put it in for the final time. Now, it's going to be sandwiched between, hang on, I've got to stand on the board, try not to fall on my ass. And I'm going to do a spin you round and do a pointy finger job. Oh yeah, beautiful. There we go, so you can probably see what I'm on about now. Oh, look at all my boards, glorious. I was tempted to keep these, but Livy's not keen. So yeah, like I say, there's still more to go in here. It's in its lightest possible, you know, point currently. So it's going to bolt all the way down through these pieces of box into the main box chassis here. But it's going to be sandwiched between the floor. So what we've got to do is we're going to drill all these holes. I've got a mag drill, borrowed James's mag drill from down at JK, bless his heart, he's a good egg. And then once we've done that, this frame can come out, and we're using 18mm ply to go in the floor. So I've then got to, above all of those holes, make some 18mm tall steel spacers, and then we're going to weld them to the tops of that, and then drill bigger holes into the plywood so that we can then put the plywood down and then shovey that over the top, and then we're going to actually bolt through metal rather than sandwich through wood, because that is, you know, ultimately there's seat belts going on there, so that's got to be absolutely, you know, pucker. But you can kind of see now like the arrangement of the van, and it's given us a bit of a sort of boost, to be honest, because what we've done is lost not a massive amount of room by having these whoop, nearly fell down, having these spinny seats here, and then this is going to be, the top of this is going to be some kitchen worktop. The fridge is going to go there, oven there, so we'll have like a, you know, a little bit of a kitchen arrangement here, and then I'm, you know, I was going to put like a microwave hung here, but I'd forgotten the sunroof, so that's a bit of a dick. So maybe we'll have the, you know, something here coming down with like a microwave in there. It seems reasonable to have one, you know, but you know, who knows? It's like, it's fluid to an extent. We can sort of adjust things as we go. But yeah, ultimately I'm doing some drilling, not exciting. Of jobs that I keep sort of not putting off, but know they need to be done. And this is the second, you know, we've got like one blue water tank there, and this is where the second one lives. So just finished welding up the bracket, drilled through the bolts, and it's now attached. So I can now remove it all again and send it to the paint shop, i.e. Livy, and she can give it a good going over, and we can bolt it in proper and get the second water tank in. Because apart from anything else, it gets it out of here, because I'm stacking up all the crap that I've sort of bought in and out the drive, basically, because it's a convenient place to keep it. So yeah, I can actually put the water tank in the hole, and then we can sort of I can probably connect them up then, connect up the water pipes, and yeah, and then move them, get that water tank in, and then we can sort of floor up over those as well. So yes, another tick in the box. Painted. Fitted. So this is all going on at the same time now. I'm making my, oh, it's all worse about face. I'd never get used to doing this, I don't think. So that is my metal frame for the seats. Essentially, as I say, we've got to put like the floor in, like under it, so it's like between the chassis and this metal frame is this, which is sandwiched. We're actually going to, so I'm going to put this in, I'm going to chop this to length, put it in, and I'm going to mark it up through the holes that I've drilled in the chassis already with the mag drill, and then we're going to bore out these bigger and then weld some little steel spaces which are 18mm, just so that, as I say, it pinches this essentially without touching it. But of course it means I've got to do a lot of dragging in and out. So yeah, first things first, just cut this to the correct width, and then at the front of the van I'm going to then put it in and then mark out the front, because Libby's seat comes back basically further than mine, the base, so it's going to have a bit of a staggered edge on the bottom. So yeah, so it'd be interesting to get this in. Actually feels like a floor again, but this is that phenolic ply I was on about. Essentially real smooth this side and it's rough the other, so the smooth side is going to go down on the bottom of the van in the same way as that it was, and then the rough side will be upwards, which hopefully will be then bond some flooring to, or whatever we decide. So yeah, gotta chop this. Real complex stuff, look. Just marking them with a bit of paint. You can see through there, little white spot. Drilling out in the little white spot. and I've got a hole saw through from the other side. So yeah, actually it should be no problem at all. All fits in there nice. So, yeah, that'll be good times, eh? There's a piece of floor, and the holes is right where we want them. So we can now, well, I'm going to actually put another piece in and drill that one, because most of the holes are in the next piece along anyway. Then I can pull this back out, paint all the holes, weld on the little, let's call them nipples. Weld on the nipples, buzz, and then paint all the bits where I've welded. Yeah, bond this to the floor, and I have a floor. So that feels pretty nice. I haven't walked around in here for literally months. So yeah, maybe one night this week I'll have a floor. So we've cut all the edge of our phenolic ply, and I've got some edge sealer. There it is. So I'm just going to smash up all of the cut edges before I stick it down. Hopefully that'll protect it. It's meant to have 2 coats. It's dry in a couple of hours. So cool. So we shall see. We shall see. Right. So all of the floor at the front maybe third quarter is insulated now. We've filled all those bits. So we've just cleaned all of these bits of box section now, and then I put some PU primer on it, and now I've got to put some PU on there, and then somehow get the board over on and in with just my socks on, and Libby probably laughing at me. So yeah, I'm not going to video it because I'm going to look a massive cock. Hopefully in a minute it'll just click like that straight through to a new floor lane on that part, and no PU all over my toesies. There we go, one floorboard, bonded, thin. I've used the new seats to just weigh it down, because I've been kicking them things around in my workshop for bloody weeks. You know, they're a pain, because I got to lift them, move them one side of the workshop, then lift them back and move them to the other. So I ain't taking the fucking things back out now, they're staying in here. So yeah, they're all weighted down. I've used a couple of the old wheels just to get as much weight on it as I can. It's clamped around the front where I can. I'll just leave that now till tomorrow. You know, I can walk away, do other stuff, and then hopefully tomorrow morning get Libs out of bed nice and early, and then it's a case of just doing, you know, more insulation, another box, another piece, another floorboard. Yeah, feels really positive actually to have a floor. Yeah, even if it's just part of one. So yeah, one. Oh, and I won't have the chance of falling through this damn thing anymore. How's that switch off? Just doing a couple of little bits and pieces again, just when I can. Just filling up all these little square holes all the way down the side of the bus. They're thinner here. On the other side I've used like 25mm insulation, but because the doors have got to go in here, they're thinner. So just to make sure we don't get any like road noise, and just make sure it's completely sealed, just cutting little pieces of aluminium and bonding them in the holes. So yeah, so far so good. Last one, and then we can carry on do insulation on the rest of them. So yeah, just again, lots of little jobs you keep sort of looking at and going, oh bugger, I'll do that in a minute. But you know, each one of these takes like, you know, maybe 5-10 minutes, but you know, by the time you've sort of done all of these and bonded them all in, it's like a couple of 3 hours of your day gone. So you know, it's a whole nother evening just sort of gone on cutting out little bits of aluminium, so hopefully we reduce a bit of road noise. Still, it is what it is, isn't it, right? Every little helps. So yep. Right, just sparking these in now. I've got like this sort of spacer, this collar which is 18mm, and then sort of welding in like a captive nut underneath. So doing that all the way along. So yeah, hopefully then we can put the floor on. Job done. But I got to paint all this now that I've ground off because I needed to do some more welding. Happy days. One of the things I absolutely detested when I drove this thing first was the oh hello, was the mirrors. As you're driving along, they were just wobbling and going all over the place. It turns out these slot into the van, and they've got like a spring in there, so that it sort of, if you hit it, it just sort of pops round. But the spring was completely knackered in this one, so it was just, you know, wobbling around. They clearly look knackered. You know, I bought one of them was missing, so I bought that. But it's just shit. This was just an eBay special, just to sort of, so I could drive it again and actually see behind me. So these arms are custom, I'm guessing, at the Optare factory. Again, it's like made by, I can't remember the company now, Anderson or something, I can't remember. But you can buy these arms, but they don't have this kink. So it's actually something like, you know, 5mm thick, but it just as well be solid bar really. But because some of them have like a piece of wire coming down for a heated mirror, again, as I've said before, I don't really care about heated mirrors. I'm not going to be driving this in the cold, so I'm not bothered about that at all. So I am going to, you know, these are just knackered, these are shagged, I don't think I can save them, it's just old shit really. So I'm going to order 2 new ones with a bit longer, so that I can fit like a normal mirror, and then like a smaller one so that I can you know, see as much of the blind spot as I can, just from, you know, purely a safety point of view. So yeah, gonna order 2 new ones, get them in. To be fair, you know, it was 100 quid, 120 quid for the pair, far more than I want to spend, but it's also one of those things that's unavoidable really. You know, is what it is, one of those things I've got to spend a few bits of cash on, and then I can then order the actual mirrors to bolt on. So yeah, let's get hold of them, go and see Jammers, because he's going to have to heat that up with his oxyacetylene and bend it for me. And then I guess I'm going to have to paint them again, but yeah, it is what it is.
A little bit necking.
Bit more. Not me though.
No, oh, you'll be fine, it'll be all go. Pinched it a bit.
Mate, that's perfect. So these are the new mirror arms. James from down at JK, as I say, has just shown you use the oxyacetylene in it and bent them to the same angle. I've just put some etch primer on there and used some 1000 grit. So now I'm just going to mask them up and plop them over with some, you know, some solid black acrylic. Happy with those, nice and shiny. You can get this another little job jobbed in it, you know. So I'll just de-tape this and then it can just hang on, just keep it out of the way just for a minute. Got to order some actual mirrors now. So Libby's out doing the important painting job. Looks fun. Am I allowed to say you've missed a bit? Try it, yeah. Right, so we have made an executive decision. We've been trying to wrap this nicely. And I'll be honest, we keep sort of doing it and not getting on very well. So I'd painted this piece to, you know, just because it's black and it would sort of fit. What we've decided is I'm just going to paint black the entirety of the front of the vehicle. So that piece up there, all the way down this side of this front wing. So once we've done that, because, you know, essentially the windows there are sort of black, and on the other side it goes down even further black, with that little window. So what we're going to do is paint this front black and then blend it somehow. Not totally worked out how yet, but that's essentially what we're going to do. I just noticed all the ripples there where it's where the sun's coming down on it. That's a bit annoying. Oh well, got to flatten that back. Don't know what that is. It must be something underneath there. Never noticed it. Oh well, ho hum. So yeah, so essentially my job now is to move the heater box out so that I can get to the back of this wing, weld my little piece, that same as I've done this side to support this, and then we go to then I have to essentially just prep this, just fiberglass the back of it, repair all of these bits and pieces, and then spray the entire front end black. So yeah, that'll be exciting, won't it, wife?
Well.
Yeah. Okay, it's all fiberglassed. It's been 5-6 hours. Filled up these holes. Try and get this off now. Got the blow lamp. Hopefully it'll just fall off. Nice new wheels all masked up. Midway through this this world of horror. Nothing to be said really. It's just been very dull. Just sanding back. I put a load of bridging filler in and loads of filler behind. It's next day and it's really solid, so I'm really pleased. Just got to try and flat this back. Still got some bits and pieces to do here and there. Yeah, then go over and flat back this whole front end and mask up and give it some paint. But the weather is looking a little bit shite really for painting something outside. Not that there is a perfect weather, I'm sure, for painting something outside. It's clearly the wrong thing to be doing, but that's the option I've got. We just had a little rain shower as well, which is really handy. You know, it is what it is, isn't it? Not much I can say. I've spent most of the day sanding and filling, and that bit there, absolute fucking nightmare. Just can't reach it, no matter what I do. So I'm pretty much done now. I'm going to clean it all down now, and then we've got to mask it up, and then I'm going to prime it. I haven't painted anything big for, well, I haven't painted anything big for probably 20 years, and even then it was only a, you know, a little homework job, like one of the, I think it was an Escort Turbo or something. No, I think it was a KA I painted last, which was many years ago. So God knows how it's going to turn out, which is why I'm going to prime the lot first. Got some nice filler primer that we're going to throw all over it to start with, just to make sure that I haven't missed anything horrible, make sure it all looks good, and then we'll paint it after that. See what happens. Right, all primed up. It's ran late as it always does, so you know, it's 9 o'clock now. I'm giving up, but the whole front end is primed essentially. It's all in some high build primer. Yeah, got to give it flat back tomorrow and put some black on there, but it's got too late and too dark for me to be messing around out here. Right, so I primed this last night. It was dry all night. Come out this morning, started flattening it back at 11 o'clock. Just started pissing down. Yay! So the primer you're not meant to get damp, wet, because it's porous. So I've got some sheets, I make before sheets of the insulation. So we propped that up all round it, built a bit of a, you know, thing, little garage tunnel, whatever. And we sort of kept mopping it back. So, you know, effectively the primer has been damp. As I say, it's porous, so you're not meant to get it wet. You're told not to get it wet, but it's, you know, like this is, I'm up here because that's the weather. It is, it's raining over on the hills. It's supposedly, you know, going to be drying this afternoon, and I keep sort of drying it off with cloth and a, you know, and paper towels, and then like half hour later it rains again. But I've been keeping an eye on the rain radar on the Met Office. You know, what more can I do? It's supposedly that's it for today, but it looks shit still. So I've mopped it off again. We are fully dry again. We're all primed up. But you know, I've got to put some more tape along the top here because that came off with the rain. And I've got nothing to lose basically, because I've either got to sand all this primer back off, or I throw the top coat on. You know, what will be will be. It's something we can revisit in the future. You know, ideally I'd like to have got it professionally done. I'm no painter or bodywork kiddie. So yeah, I'm just gonna hope that it's not gonna piss down. I guess worst case scenario, I'm halfway through painting it and it just decides to throw a load more rain down, and then I've got like a Raptor finish front end. Yeah, it is what it is. It's a little bit gutting really. Like I said in an earlier video, if I had made like a big garage out of wood and stuff right from the beginning, I think it would have saved me hours over the whole project. But there we go. It is what it is. I'm not building one now. So yeah, I'm hoping it'll all be alright, but let's get going, I suppose. See what happens. There you go. Shit just don't ever go to plan, does it? So I don't know whether I'm going to be able to save that or not, or I got to sand it all back. I'm fucking gutted really, because you know, Met Office said it was going to be dry all day, rainfall radar looked good. The fucking moment I put some paint in the gun, pisses down. So So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just sort of drying, keeping the panels as dry as I can, just wiping them down, but clearly I can't do anything about what I've just painted. So who knows. Problem I've got at the moment is I've got to turn the radio down because YouTube's going to tell me off. There we go. Radio's absolutely soaked. But yeah, what's happening is like the water is coming. This is just like sort of it's actually called like window masking film from Screwfix, but you know, like the weekend was meant to be dry, so my plan was just I've used this before on other stuff, just mask the edges, then put some of this plastic in there, mask over that, and then, you know, job done. Spray this because it's going to be dry this weekend, and then pull that off, you know, early Monday morning, job done. But what's happening is water is getting in underneath this and creating bubbles of water, so that is coming down, making lots of pressure under here, and then eventually every few minutes it just goes piss, and then we get like a drip of water come down. So I can't do anything to counteract that really, so we'll see. Well, we think we're just going to go for like the Hail Mary. We're just going to dry it all off again and just paint this bottom bit and just hope that we can blend this top part, you know, later in the week. Like I say, all of this is fucked. It all needs sanding back, and you know, it's so frustrating. I'm just saying to Libby, I'm like, it frustrates me, but there's nowhere to like point my frustration other than, yeah, ultimately me, I guess. There it is. It is what it is. That's part and parcel of the whole British thing, I guess. Have a little complain about the weather. But it's just fucking annoying. There's a little bit of sun coming through now.
Let's have a cup of tea.
Yeah, cup of tea. Yeah, that'll sort it. But yeah, you know, like I say, like the problem is I've got some paint in the gun that we've mixed, so I haven't got masses of paint. I didn't order it because, you know, why would I? I was only planning on painting it the once, but here we are. So yeah, there's some paint, fresh batch in the gun. I need to get it on there if I can, otherwise it's wasted and I ain't gonna have enough anyway. So if I can just paint this bottom bit, see how it goes. Yeah, sometimes having a bit of a gamble pays off, other times dog shit. And that's what we've got. We've got little sort of rain dinks in here everywhere. So yeah, it's a massive fuck you to the Met Office, massive fuck you to whoever's organising the weather. It's hard not to get frustrated. Well, I am frustrated. It's hard not to get dismissive and, you know, just take on that negative sort of attitude at times when you get this sort of shit. You know, it was a gamble on my behalf. The moment it started like raining this morning, I should have just said nope. Let's game over this. But you know, long story short, we've got like a black primer. You know, I'm gonna sand it all back, go again, probably one night in a week, Wednesday night typically. Piss take really. Both me and the missus had a little Google thing come up on our phone saying, oh, the weather's going to warm up over the next 3 days. There it is, isn't it? You know, again, I sort of the same as I've said before, like you know what my granddad's told me once: if you ain't making the balls up every now and again, you probably ain't doing fuck all, are you? So you know, it is what it is. Sorry, my language is atrocious. I'm frustrated. So yeah, order some more stuff. That's the thing. It's like another couple £100 of paint and general crap, but you know, is what it is, isn't it? I'm not. Libby was sort of saying, "Can't you sort of flatten it back?" And I was like, "Nah, like it just needs to be done now. It just needs to be done." It's a shame. It's a real shame, but you know, that's life, isn't it? But I mean, like the reality is though, the panel, this corner, this was ruined. Hang on, look at me. This whole section here. Oh god, that's awkward. That whole corner had been removed for some rest repair below, and it had been like just fudged right in, you know, back on, and it was all sort of, you know, smashed here. And all of that looks lovely. I couldn't have got that better, I don't think. Or I don't think I could have paid anyone and it'd be any better. Not tooting my own horn, because I hate bodywork. It probably took me 3 times longer, but it's all right. You know, yeah, I could sit here and whinge and bitch all night, and I won't. I'm just going to go in and have a pint and go to bed. So take 2, hopefully next. That was exciting. I am just filthy. I've had to take quite a lot of the paint off, as you can see along the top, where it was really bad, really bumpy. It was like bloody what's that bed liner stuff that people were painting the vans with. It was like that, like just really lumpy, horrible stuff. But I'm all sanded off. Weather is looking fairly decent. It's nice and bright. I feel like a mole because I'm squinting. I'm looking at black and then turning around, and there's a bright sunshine up there. So we're going to now clean it all off, mask it up, fingers crossed get it painted tonight, because they give thunder and lightning again tomorrow. So it's kind of getting desperate. It needs to be painted, so see how it goes. Cool, so the gamble paid off somehow. It's all black. You know, the finish is okay. I've got to I'll probably sand it back and, you know, give it a bit of a polish up after a week once it's dried up. Like I say, I ain't a spray painter. And essentially I've just, you know, blown it over outside on gravel. So yeah, pretty happy, to be fair. We can put the bodywork side of things behind us for a bit now, because I was getting a bit stressed out about all that. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So I've still got the bonnet and the bumper, but I think we're going to give them to Jeremy. To be fair, Jeremy, a friend of mine, said if you can piss you can paint anyway. He said there's nothing to it, but I can say what I like because he doesn't ever watch these. Hopefully a nice quick little job. You can see how bad the door is. It's just corroded and knackered. I felt there was no point in trying to rescue this, to be honest. The frame of the door is just sort of aluminium extrusion, and I wanted to lose this window anyway. So this hopefully, like I say, nice little quick project. Hopefully just pull all these rubber bits off, somehow prise off this skin. I imagine it's bonded with PU because everything else on the whole vehicle is. So it'll be a case of pulling that off and then just hopefully re-skinning with a new one. Quick coat of paint, bash it back on. New door. Easy as that, right? I'll be honest, I wasn't looking forward to this. I was expecting it to be a horrendous job, but actually, you know, genuinely easy. So I just got to hope my new skin fits now. I've obviously got to clean up all of this horror where it's sort of rotted underneath it, but all looks fairly decent, to be honest with you. I think it's just this skin that's caught it. I'm guessing this is probably all anodised. Glorious. So the new skin fits perfectly. I've cleaned out all under there. I'm going to now etch prime or epoxy prime the back side of this and the front side of that. I've got to put a little fold here, so I've got to get that in the fold. I'm going to have to come and get Libby to help me do that because I need to support all this end. Once that little fold's in and those are primed, we can then bond that together, clamp it all the way around, and then tomorrow give it a coat of paint. So yeah, happy days. I'm really pleased that fits, because I was worried, of course, that it'd turn up. Howard's made this for me at Allah, the legend that he is. He actually made one initially. I wish I'd picked it up, actually. I'd put the scale of the drawing in text rather than it being physically correct, because it was obviously huge. So he'd lasered one up and it was like no bigger than that. It was properly funny. I wish I picked it up now, but yeah, it was my fault because I should have scaled the drawing up. But again, I don't use CAD that often, only when I need to do something, and I had written the scale on it in 5:1 or whatever instead of 1:1 on the actual drawing in text. So he showed me and I was laughing. So yeah, happy days. I'm really pleased. Bless your heart, Uncle Howard. What a legend. There we go, one door. Cheeky little fold in there. To get Libby out to help. Bless her heart. But yeah, just all clamped up now. Ran out of clamps. Got some zip ties. So yeah, just got to wait till tomorrow. Wait for that to bond and dry tomorrow. And then I can take all the clamps off, just trim where the PU is sticking out. Quick sand over, some primer, and then black that up. Bloody lovely. Door again. There's a... managed to get a ping dent in it somehow. That's a bit annoying. But, there it is. It's all nice and shiny. Just something, like I said, I hadn't noticed that. I'm maybe in the van on the way over or something. I bonked it. But that's kind of the trouble with aluminium, I guess, to an extent. But regardless, we can flat this back now. Not flat it back, key it up. Yeah. Door. There we go. Bit of filler. We'll flat that back in a bit. So we're at that point now where we need to actually start thinking about cladding the interior. I want to start putting this frame in which holds the seats, but obviously I need to clad this before I bolt this in for good. So, world's your oyster really. We ordered all of these samples. These are all free mill pieces of ply, essentially, with various different surface finishes and colours on them. This all turned up and I was like, oh shit, I don't know. Fortunately, Libby is better than me at this sort of shit. So we've gone for like a neutral grey silver colour, same sort of colour as the outside, in 3mm. And there you go. It's M507. That's exactly what I'd thought. So yeah, there's shitloads of stuff, some which is god awful, some which is quite nice, some which reminds me of a 70s caravan. But ultimately we want something that's going to wipe clean. We've got carpeted walls in the other one, in the Iveco, and it's been absolutely fine. It really has, but like it just feels a bit sort of bland, generic, and when you do get a stain on it, it's a fucking pain in the ass. So we're going with that. All of those can just bugger off now. So we're going with that on the walls. I'm going to go for I'm sure everyone's seen this before. It's generic stuff. Everyone seems to do it, but we're gonna essentially have these on the roof. There's been umpteen. I looked at one on Facebook or one online and then through to their Facebook, and God almighty, there's everyone selling these things. Now, after doing some research, I knew that I wanted see they're black there. Some of them are not. These are samples, of course. The other thing that I was sort of wary of was this is an acoustic, base on it. It's like a foam base, so it's a bit flexible. But some of them are stapled, and I've seen various people sort of struggling when you've cut it all falling to pieces and all of that shit. So these are from a company called Nature Wool. They seem to be, not the cheapest, but not the worst priced in any means or form. But everyone seems to say they're good and they don't fall to pieces and all of that crap. So we're going to use that. Libby has decided on these. These are like tiles, so these will be going around the sink and stuff. So again, I have nothing to do with choices of colour as far as I'm concerned. If it was black or white, I'd be a happy boy, as long as it were proper. So we're having those, and we've still got the curtains from when it was a bus, and the curtains are blue. So certainly initially we're going to use those curtains. So essentially we've got sort of a blue, grey and fake oak colour scheme. So that's what we're going to do. So we can actually go and have a measure up now and actually get some ordered, which again feels like quite positive, some actual finishing stuff. So we've got our board and cut it. This is that 3mm stuff I was just on about. I think it's Magnus or Magnus and camper vans or something. So I bought some trim that goes in the middle to join it together, and it's fucking bright white and looks absolutely awful. So Libby's had a bit of a whinge at me because I'm having a whinge. So she's gone in. I've either got to wrap them, spray them, or you can't buy them in like a grey. But she's gone in to like try and paint pen them, bless her heart. So she's done that, and I bought this. This is just normal grey angle trim. So I'm going to just try and trim this round in the hope that might, you know, might sort of look quite decent. The trim that came out of the bus, it had these trims around there, which were obviously custom made moulded items of some description. So I'm hoping that, you know, maybe I can get away with some grey silicone. But yeah, I'll bond these on as soon as Libby's had a look at that panel there. But yeah, I'm going to try and trim round all of these bits and pieces now. See if I can get that to sit in there nicely. So painted it silver. So yeah, painted it silver. So now I'm going to pop that in there, bond these together, bond them to the wall, and then look about putting the trim on there tomorrow. Oh, it's all dark and horrible outside. Oh, hello. So I'm pretty happy. This is just, like I say, it's a little spider. Just that little, but this is 50mm like grey plastic angled trim. I've had to trim it back in there, but it tucks in there nicely. I've had to cut it slightly wider just to get around the weld. It would be nice to go up to there, but I think time I've trimmed up these and put some grey silicone or something around there, yeah, it actually feels quite sort of nice. Looks a bit clinical, honestly, at the minute, but I'm not kind of worried about that because it's just going to be easy to clean, and you know, by the time all the other bits and pieces are up and there's a nice flooring of whatever I'm going to do on the floor, got your curtains and all the rest of the crap, get a couple of pot plants or whatever, I think it'd be alright. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm happy that I painted that piece silver. The white looked god awful. So yeah, I can bond this in now. I'm happy. So glued or bonded the old grey PU, just got some beams going across. I seem to be doing this a lot at the moment. This was the frame we originally had to build like the tent in this thing, so they've been very useful. I've been holding all sorts of stuff together with them, so yeah, yeah, 24 hours, that'll be good to go, and then I can carry on backwards. I've epoxied some cable saddles. Normally we'd sort of drill and tap these into whatever, but I've epoxied them to the top of my tanks. So I'm just going to bring both of my, like, this is my waste and this is my fresh supply. They'll be coming along the top there and then coming up the back through there, through like holes in the board, which I shall bore shortly. But the other two wastes that are going off to the toilet, just tied along there. They'll go up further back through. At the moment I've just got loads of shit everywhere in the dry, so yeah, and I'm just gonna now change my air dryer cartridge just so that that's done, because it's there and easy now and I don't want to crawl under it in the future. Easy. Right, I'm gonna call it for this this video. It's been a bit patchy, I know, because the footage I've taken hasn't been I haven't been concentrating on it at all. I mean, you know, it's difficult because most of the videos on YouTube are filmed specifically for content, so you know, they'll have a million cameras and the quality is much better, so I appreciate you still watching, to be honest, because it's not in any way professional, and I do miss things. I miss quite a lot of stuff if I'm in a hurry and I'm rushing, because it's just, you know, ultimately my primary concern is to get the bus done, not sit there and, you know, organise YouTube videos and content. You know, I enjoy doing them, I genuinely do, but I'm not, you know, it's the secondary concern to me, really. I'm happy to poke the camera at stuff if it don't take me too much longer to do the job, but ultimately the job is to, you know, get the family holiday wagon sorted. So where are we now? Most of the outside is done. We've got to wrap 3 panels, glue them on. Front bumper bonnet is at Jeremy's, getting repaired, and he's going to paint those black because I don't enjoy painting. He's better at painting than me. Don't tell him. And he's just organising all of that. I've just dropped him up there and he's going to get them sorted. So the frame for the seats is in, bolted down, everything there works fine. The seats will just bolt straight in now. Same with the seat belts, everything there is ready to go. But I'm going to trim this with, I put one piece of this wall panel on the outside, because obviously this bit is viewable from the outside, so I've I've trimmed that so that it at least looks finished from the outside and silver. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to trim this whole thing, I think, with this grey stuff and then bolt the seats in. I'm going to do that sooner rather than later because the seats are just pissing me off and I'm tripping over them all the time. I've got loads of stuff turned up. I keep sort of like, you know, thinking, oh shit, I need a whatever. So we've like had the charger turned up. I wanted to get like a decent charger, one that will charge. We're going to have like a battery, a 24 volt battery pack in here somewhere, probably in under there. So I wanted a charger that can cope with multiple battery banks so that it will look after the main vehicle batteries as well. As I say, there's a good chance this is just going to be parked for 6 months, so it'd be nice just to, you know, plug it in and forget about it and let it look after itself. So I've got one of those coming, but you know, same with the water pumps. I've got like, I wanted to get like a decent water pump system. The one in the caravan had this like stupid little thing, and you know, you turn a tap on and it sort of like dribbles out and just spews water outside everywhere, and I just didn't want to do that. So we've got like a proper big shore flow water pump, 24 volt job with an accumulator and all the rest of it. So you know, all these things keep sort of arriving. I keep thinking, oh shit, I need that, so ordering it. But of course all of these things are like, you know, 100 quid, 200 quid. So I've spent an absolute bloody fortune accidentally just through adding things to my basket in eBay or wherever it is I happen to find these things. So you know, it is what it is. I'm going to be bankrupt in a minute, but you know, it is what it is, isn't it? So I'm in like the final push. I've got like a couple of weeks before I want to MOT this. Which sounds like a piss take really, but you know, I do put the hours in, and ultimately, as long as it's got all the panels on, and you know, I've got to fit an oven, but that, you know, is minutes of work. The bed, again, it's got to have a fixed bed, and the bed goes up between there. All the aluminium poles, the fucking state of it in here. All these metal poles which go across there for the bed, so the bed can be sort of erected in minutes. So then I've effectively got, you know, a motorhome I can MOT as a motorhome, because it's a fucking motorhome, isn't it? It ain't a bus. So yeah, effectively, once that's done, and as long as everything's legal, the lights and that work, I know the wheels and tyres are good, as long as the brakes are good, we should be, you know, MOTable. Once it's MOT'd, it's going to be just far easier for me. You know, we want to go away in it in a few weeks. You know, we've sort of resigned to the fact that we're going to be, you know, slumming it, as it were. But as long as everything's clean, solid, you know, so what if we got to have a camping bed or a, you know, camping cooker just for a minute? It don't really matter, does it? We can get out in it and just prove that it works, and if anything else, we can find some bits that we think, actually, I'd much prefer to be doing this, or we can have that there or this there. So, you know, I'm just gonna look at the early use as a positive at the minute. Clearly, I'd rather be out doing it. Trouble is, I keep seeing little bits and thinking, that ain't no good, I got to redo that. I'm sure I've got ADHD or something. I don't know if a normal person is going to be sitting there pissing around doing this like I would. I'm sure there's some mental disorder or whatever that I've got. Feels like it. Anyway, I keep redoing things over and over and over again until I'm happy. I'm not happy with like the paint I did on the door. I've already said to Libby, I've put the door on and I've got some scratches in it. And I'm just so unhappy. I'm just not happy with it. And every time I come to the door, I'm looking at it thinking I want to take that off, and it's really, really frustrating, because all I want to do is take the door off and respray it again. But I can't, because I know if I do that, I'll be like 3-4 days behind, lost. So I can't. But it's like it's driving me like bonkers insane. So I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to talk about it either. But yeah. That's where I'm going to leave this video. I'm sorry again, it's been boring. I'm hoping things are starting to get a bit more exciting, probably for the average viewer. I'm not welding the side in a bloody van, so that's got to be good news, isn't it? So yeah, again, thanks for joining us. You know, do appreciate the comments. You know, any advice for me, you know, fire it away. You know, I've got no, you know, we've never done this before. Not once. Well, not this thing we've done in Iveco, but you know, this is not something that I'd envisaged the level of work for this. So if you spy something that looks like we're going the wrong way or fucking it up big time, I'm more than happy to take on some advice. So by all means, comment, tell me what a knob I am and I should have done this or should have done that, or tell me you've enjoyed it, whatever. Thanks for joining us anyway. Hopefully this will be, one of the final videos. Never know, right? Cheers, guys.